beautiful Guyana, oh my lovely native land. Oh, dear to me that all the world I see was sun is round. Oh, down upon the border, down upon the deep, the great Atlantic going to a glory, glory to your the sea, as warm as blue, or better in the presence as glow. I love thee, I love thee, I love thee. My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, El Dorado, best of all the world away. In my heart wherever I wander, memory enshrineth thee. All my hopes and aspirations, all my longings, only tie everlasting bonds around us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana, El Dorado, my Guyana, times unfolding and for my destiny, to redeeming lasting splendor for the years that lost to thee, and the dawning of thy glory, oh Lord, long, long night is past. Oh, arise triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, arise triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past.
Omru pogru Guyana, o agri pogru padaze, murbe naitiarum tazentai, mansada, wium sawe. De quebratena poro iram sada ipairam ku ipuku prana astung korem sa atu pansa pinanepu negat poiru de quebrawi wom pampe ada pruya o ada pruya.
Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Together, my comrades, together, and you, Guyana, a country where all are equal opportunity. So let us begin now to show love by showing love and respect for all that it means. My brothers, my sisters, we will live and die here together. On to one people, one nation, one destiny. For harmonious living, cooperation will be forever. In work and play as we live as proud Guyanese. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. When it's time we settle all the racial as in the interior. Our natural resources are there in great quantity. And we will do farming and establish towns by the border. We'll grow more food so we would fill all dire needs.
My greatest desire is to serve my country, Guyana, and sincerely help my Guyana to move along. Our government asks us that we study hard and we learn the things that will help Guyana to become strong. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free, to help develop Guyana the free. Oh, my lovely native land, more dear to me than all the world. I see what sun is down upon the borders, looking out upon the deep, the great Atlantic flowed into a fury. For a sea at morn, at noon, or later in the crimson sunset's glow, I love thee, I love thee, I love thee. Oh, oh, beautiful Guyana, oh, my lovely native land, more dear to me than all the world. I see what sun is round. Oh, down upon the border, going out upon the deep, the great Atlantic flowed into a fury, flowed into a fury. A sea, at morn, at noon, or later in the crimson sunset's glow, I love thee, I love thee, I love
Marching towards the shining future, courage high, the past is gone. Live for crumbling fear and counting mountain glory, sun and stone. The storm blows dark and blowing, through face lightning flash and flame. One republic of each faithful heart to guard Guyana's lands, to foil the shock of rude invader who violate our earth, to cherish and defend forever the state that gave them birth. We'll forge a nation's mighty soul, construct a nation's queen. Freedom our everlasting goal, courage and truth our aim. All yielding in our quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Guyana plant the glorious virtue, faith, prosperity, joining the universal search for worldwide community. Your people must surrender greed, renew our polity, with one forever changing, with all nations unity. We hail the Guyana, our country, our home, proud coast united, your wonders abound. The mountains of Parliament, all with beauty crowned, will always live in our memory, wherever we roam. We sing of Guyana in village and town. We pledge our allegiance as onward we go. United together, our strength we will show, and build a new Guyana, a land of renown. We love you, Guyana. Blessed may you be. Our flag we will honor, our motto uphold. Inspired by our leaders, our destiny will hold, and proudly face the future, undaunted are we. From Parker rivals steeds of war to Coraties our sons, where children pledge each faithful heart to guard Guyana's lands, to foil the shock of rude invader who violate our earth, to cherish and defend forever the state that gave them birth. We'll forge a nation's mighty soul, construct a nation's queen. Freedom our everlasting goal, courage and truth our aim. All yielding in our quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Your people whatsoever agree, then you are quality, with one forever changing great nations unity.
Morning, neighbor, morning, how are you doing? It's 27 minutes past the 7 o'clock hour, and it's the 20th day of February in the year 2025. Yes, it's Friday. It's Free Talk Friday. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. How have you been? How was it yesterday? How was it last night, people? How are you feeling this morning? Let me remind you that at Starbucks Square, starting at 5 p.m., that's 5 this afternoon, at Starbucks Square, you will, the coalition will be hosting a street parliament. So, street parliament this afternoon at Starbucks Square from 5 o'clock. Ensure you go out there. Your speakers include, of course, your 12 parliamentarians, and then there are others, including Eden Corbin, Mihaly McAlmont, Dr. Paul Williams, and Michael Richmond, right? Those are the people who are going to be out there along with your parliamentarians this evening, starting from 5 o'clock. Street Parliament. Go out there and listen to your representatives. Go out there and hear what they have to share with you. Learn from them. Support them. Pledge your support to them. Give them encouragement. Okay, please and thank you. Do that. And not to forget, Ipadaji Sunday discourses will continue this week. Yes. Sunday discourses will continue this week, starting at 7 p.m. Yes. So be part of that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel terrible. Sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I feel miserable. I'll tell you why just now. I'll sort it out. Good. So how you feeling? It's Friday. Please share the live. Share the live, because I notice the viewership is still small yet. But it's Friday. Why not? Let us play some oldies, and then we'll come back as you guys share the live, and we will get ourselves some discourses. See what's here for you.
stroll down lover's lane, once more to sing love's old refrain. Soon we must say, auf Wiedersehen, auf Wiedersehen, my dear. Here in your arms I can't remain, so let me kiss you once again. Soon we must say, auf Wiedersehen, my dear. Your love will cling to me through the lonely daytime. Each night will bring to me the magic memories of Maytime. I know my heart won't beat again until the day. Sweetheart, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, my dear. Your love will cling to me through the lonely daytime. Each night will bring to me the magic memories of Maytime. I know my heart I wanna beat again until the day we meet again. Sweetheart, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, my dear. Bye, 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 my love. Goodbye, my darling, my darling, my darling, my darling, my darling. Bye, 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 bye.
My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed those two selections. I know they went way back in time. Way back in time. I already saw the Olet saying thank you for the music, beautiful music. Well, that's what we do over here at Camps TV, you know. Buxtonian Guyanese Morning Time. All we do is try to please you. We try to have a good understanding of our audience and provide the kind of content that will gladden their hearts. And I'm happy that we are gladdening your heart. So the question I was asking this morning is, what gives you hope? How you doing? What was it yesterday? What was it last night? How are you feeling this morning? What do you recognize that's happening in this country that's worrisome to you? I think I have a thought in my head. And I will share it because like I always share it. And I wonder, when you look around this country, how is it? It would seem as though only one set of people believe that they can make meaningful contributions to the growth and development of this country. And how is it we allow them to get the impression that they are the solutions to this country and only they can solve the problems of this country. Right? When in fact, from where I sit, I see them as the problems of the country. And they can't contribute, or they don't contribute. Not that they can't, they for the most part don't contribute in a meaningful way to resolving the issues of this country, the problems of this country. Right? I constantly ask myself why it is when you look around this country, right? When you look around this country, what you see is one group of people. Every time you look around, you see one group of people in what I want to call leadership. Every organization they lead, every institution they got a toe in, a fingernail in, and you are not finding solutions. You're not seeing them resolving anything, any problems in this country. You're not finding them. You're not easing the burdens of the ordinary man by their presence. But they still believe that it is their God-given duty to position themselves front, back, and center of everything in this country, especially when there are gains to be had, when there's money to be managed, right? When there are resources to be distributed. And strange enough, Guyanese sit back and we accept this nonsense. Well, strange enough, yeah. Guyanese sit back and accept this nonsense. And you ask the average Guyanese to step forward and challenge the status quo in that dare to dream. Right? You dare to dream. You dare to say, well, listen. I'm told that there's an echo. All right, that should take care of the echo. I hope it is. You as the average guy needs to step forward and offer his or herself for leadership. And the first thing they will tell you, not me, by. Not me. Why not me? Because those who are in power and those who enjoy the sweet of the resources of this country by virtue of the fact that they got power or they got access to power will do anything to protect that power, will do anything to ensure that nobody else gets a taste of the sweet that they're enjoying. In short, anybody who dares to challenge the status quo to disrupt the status quo becomes an enemy. And not only an enemy to those who are at the top of the pyramid, but also those who fall immediately under those who are at the top of the pyramid. And even in some instances, some of those who are right down at the bottom of the pyramid. Because they got some of us sufferers, and I'm a sufferer, and they got some of us flat-footers, they got some of us the ordinary citizens who catching hell to survive from payday to payday, who by stroke of luck or by the decision to sell their souls and their consciences manage to get a crumb off of the table. And the fact that they're getting a crumb off of the table, they tell themselves it is their right, their duty to defend those who are giving them a crumb off of the table, not even recognizing that they're entitled to a bigger slice of the bread. Right? So you find anytime an outsider tries to challenge the status quo, there's a circling of the wagons. They circle the wagons. Whether the opposition or the government, they circle the wagons. And they say, nah, boy, you just come. You got to wait your turn. You're going to pressure you to hell. We're going to see what you're made of. Are you willing to stay in this kitchen, or are you too hot? You're going to run when we pressure you. But that doesn't mean that if you love your country enough, if you love your people enough, if you really are desirous of serving, if you're patriotic and nationalistic enough, you should cut and run. You should throw your hand up in the air and say, nah, bye, they win. No. You have to be determined to fight to change the status quo, to change what Guyana is now and what Guyana is likely to become in the future if we continue to simply exist the way we are. I love for the fact that in recent weeks, I see a lot of people who previously were not vocal are becoming vocal, especially in the teaching service. A lot of teachers were quiet. Teachers never used to talk. Teachers always used to frighten the education officer, and they send in this team and that team to assess their work and so on and so forth and put them under pressure. So teachers hardly used to talk. But in recent days, I've started seeing a number of teachers coming out and they're making TikTok videos and they're criticizing or they are complaining, they're making the complaints public. That's a positive sign. I also know that there's some parents who are coming out and criticizing teachers and the education system. That's a positive sign. More people are speaking up. I noticed on TikTok, albeit A lot of young people are addressing issues directly to the government. That's a good sign. What would be the best sign, however, is if all of those people join their hearts and hands together and take to the street, even if it's a one day, to say to the PPP, this is not business as normal. This is not business as usual. We can't stand for this. We are demanding change. I listened to snippets of the budget debates and the examination of the estimates and so on. And this is something I sometimes I blame the press for keeping us in ignorance. As I always say, the editors of the media houses, they are the gatekeepers of information. They will decide what we know or what we hear as against what we don't know or we don't hear. Right? But listening to Mr. Jordan yesterday, I had a eureka moment, and I'm sure a lot of you had a eureka moment. Damn! I heard this question in the parliament about the Berbice Bridge, and I just said that the government is in an advanced state of negotiations and so on to close a deal to take over the Berbice Bridge. And the takeover cost, according to the not-so-great bishop, if I remember hearing clearly, would be less than what the government would have been paying the Berbice Bridge for tolls if they didn't take it over. At least in the next fiscal financial year, perhaps. I say, okay. They're not as transparent as they ought to be. But if it's going to turn out that we're going to save some money, despite the fact that I know that their friends and cronies will be getting big payoff from that takeover, so be it. But when Mr. Jordan explained yesterday, or drew to our attention yesterday, that this is a bridge that is scheduled to revert to the government based on a contractual arrangement next year, then you ask yourself what scandal bond going on there. You ask yourself, what foolishness is going on here? Because that bridge was built through a public-private partnership. The government putting a whole lot of money, including NIS money, and getting the leasing returns. I hope you all remember that. And so the number of years that the contract was signed for, in terms of private sector controlling the bridge or having part ownership of the bridge, is soon coming to an end. It's coming to an end next year. And so it is supposed to make a natural transition to the people of Guyana. The PPP, the government, whatever you call them, could have decided at that time, we are going to make this bridge toll-free. Even in their anxious moments, even in their moments where they're saying, we're going to give you toll-free crossing over the bridges because of election gimmicks and so on and so forth, they could have made a differentiation. But I guess that differentiation might have cost them in their calculation votes in Berbice. So they have to do it now. We got to get toll-free now. The hell was the Guyanese people and the money that they would have saved and the benefits they could have gotten in that money from social services, salary increases, etc. The hell was that? Let us do our politics now. Answer yes. I'm not too clear on what that question is asking, Claudia. Right? So we're going to get toll free. Okay, the government would have to stand the cost of those tolls to the next year. But after standing the cost of the toll for the next year, Guyanese are free of this public-private partnership in that the bridge goes back to the people, or the bridge is transferred to the people of Guyana for the government to manage it. But if we were to wait for that natural transition to take its course, the friends and cronies of the PPP will not be able to maximize the financial benefit they will get out of it. They will not be able to suck the sweet out of the treasury, as against if they decide, let us take over the bridge now, 1 year earlier, because this is what's going to happen. My projection is this: if you take it over 1 year earlier, it's like a breach of contract. You will have to pay compensation for taking it over 1 year earlier. And if you're paying compensation for taking it over 1 year earlier, it means serious negotiations will have to take place. And so we will give you a price that is nice. A price that will ensure every one of us walk away smiling. And that is what is happening to the resources of the Guyanese. But we don't see that. We don't see that. Or a lot of us appear as though we don't see that. We see free toll. But the PPP does nothing for nothing. Everything the PPP does, presumably to benefit the citizens of this country, check the backrooms and we'll find out how much they rob the citizens of this country. Guyanese are now going to take to the streets and say, we are not for this nonsense. We are not for this nonsense. But like I said, a lot more people are speaking up on social media. That's a positive thing. But we have to find the glue, if I can call it that, to bring all of these segments of people together. To stand in the streets and say, we will not stand for this. Let me tell you this also. I don't know if you've noticed, but Vikram Bharat, who is the Minister of Natural Resources or something, made a statement at the energy conference. There's an energy conference going on. Let me say, I believe it is Vikram Bharat. I can't remember the exact name. Let me say that. But it's a Bharat. And I know it's not Bharat Jagdu. And the statement is, I'm paraphrasing here, Trinidad now has good governance or good government. Trinidad now has a good government. And therefore, we, the government of Guyana, will proceed with a lot of initiatives we were working on together, or we wanted to work on with Trinidad. Let me interpret it from my Buxton background side education. The government led by the black man in Trinidad is no longer. It has been replaced by a coolie government like we own. And so now we will go forth and work with that coolie government to do what we think we could have done with Trinidad. Why you note? Why you note? Suriname is not in the discourse, is not in the front line of the discourse nowadays. Because Santoki is no longer there. Santoki is no longer there. So it's God's grace, if you want to call it that, the Creator's mercies, that at no point in time, Guyana, Suriname, and Trinidad gets a coolie government at the same time. Otherwise, we were doomed in this part of the universe because of the Indian, what do you call it? Indian immigration scheme or something like that. Yes, there was a plot. Indian colonization scheme, sorry. Anytime Guyana and Trinidad and Suriname get the same kind of government that Guyana and Trinidad currently have, an Indian-dominated government, the Indian colonization scheme will kick black man. Because despite the fact it is an old idea, if some people call it that, it is an idea that these people of Indo ancestry, let me call them that, are continuously trying to materialize. And so when you hear one of your government minister in the oil-rich country say that Trinidad get the right government, we're going to work with them, understand the difference is, it's not black man is at the helm of the Trinidad government. And if it were a black man, then the PPP was not going to work with them. Understand that? And so you got to ask yourself again, how much of our resources will be taken from this country to prop up the Indian-led government, the Kamla Bissessar government in Trinidad, so that the PPP can have their way, or so that Mother India can be proud. Remember, the Indian Prime Minister come and he said, we got a little Indian Guyana. We are proud of what our people are doing in Guyana. Remember when it was a black-led government, the Granger government in Guyana, the Bank of Nova Scotia, not Nova Scotia, I know what I'm talking about. Bank of Baroda was packing up to go away because we don't see ourselves having our way with the black-led government, the Granger government-led government. We wouldn't have our way. They ain't got much resources to be thief and so. They ain't got much resources to remit to Mother India. So the Bank of Baroda was shutting shop. But as long as the government was changed, the Bank of Baroda recognized that Guyana is indeed a glorious state to be in. So much so that they're building a headquarters here. These are things that we have to continuously pay attention to. Right? We have to continuously pay attention to these things. And for that very reason, when we pay attention, we must recognize that regardless of their differences or apparent differences, the people of Indo ancestry in this country and in this region continuously support and uphold the wickedness of each other to the detriment of people of Afro ancestry. Y'all go tag the ERC because they're going to say it's racism I'm talking. But it's reality you're talking. You notice for the last several weeks, Charandas was commenting on the Azuddin Mohammed case and what the PPP was doing. Because Charandas is one of them real Madras, Kuli, if you call them that, who believes that regardless of what people of his ilk do, they should be defended. They should be defended. So despite the fact that the PPP misbehaved a lot before they lost the 2015 election, Charandas believed that it was his duty to rescue them, to save them, to create an opening for them to get back in power by fair or foul means. Right? And that time has passed. He has gotten his class rep and his pound of flesh or whatever. And the PPP back in power is now seen, at least from where he sits perhaps, as offending another Indian brother. So he believes he has to get to the defense of the Indian brothers. So he has been writing up a storm in the last several weeks. But this week he showed up on the court steps. Maybe as part of the defense team or just providing support to the Mohammeds. Because as we say, in this country, and most people have lived it and seen it and believed it, one kuli or one kuli. No matter what we fight up among our, we say, I big have to ensure them black man and get back power. I've said it to all of you before. I'm saying it again. Win among the Indo-Guyanese in this country is seen as the next alternative to the PPP when the PPP has fallen so far from grace. Win is seen as a foundation being laid for the replacement of a broken PPP when the time comes. And I'm reminding you, in case you didn't recognize me saying it, that all of you black fools who running behind Win and running behind your so-called opposition leader are simply embracing your downfall. You're simply embracing your downfall. You're simply embracing your subjugation. Because should that day come, then you're going to see the real colors of the snake that you are feeding. Then you'll see the real colors of the snake that you feed. My caution, before I even caution anybody, let me say this, I must have said it before. The hatred, as I will call it, emanating from Win for the commissioners at GCOM, the three opposition nominating commissioners at GCOM, and the distaste for any show of unity or working with the APNU might be coming from WIN as an organization, but it is fueled. It is fueled by some Black people in WIN. It is fueled by some Black people in WIN. And I understand that hatred because I understand where it comes from. Or we not putting a spoke in certain person or person's wheels. Then they wanted to join the PNC. As against being in the coalition. When they wanted leadership in the APNU. When they did not have the numerical backings. The personal grudges with people in WIN and individual commissioners nominated by the opposition. Those are the things that are being fueled. Or those are the things, the hatred, the distaste, the disagreements. That continue to fuel the push, the never-ending push to quote-unquote kill and bury the PNC. Get rid of the 3 opposition-nominated commissioners from GCOM. Yes, it's not grounded in politics. It's grounded in personality and personal grudges. But they don't care that they're doing this at the expense of people of African ancestry in this country. They don't care that they're doing it at the expense of the citizens of this country. They don't care that they're doing it at the expense of real democracy in this country. What they care about is themselves and being able to feed from the national coffers. Being able to always be around there to grab from the national coffers. That is what you're about. And Guyanese have to recognize, regardless of the ethnicity, Guyanese have to recognize that that is a game that is being played. And stand together, band themselves in unity to change the status quo. We cannot continue along this line of allowing one group of people playing, you know when you're playing checkers? Yes, when playing checkers, Chinese checkers we call it. When the aim is to move from your house to somebody else's house and occupy before they could occupy your house, that is what politics is in this country, for the most part. It's a set of recycled people moving from this political house to that political house to the next political house so they could eat at the house and then they could eat at the house. You're like, they're behaving like us as children. When we were children, you know, we eat at home and then we go by auntie. And when we don't eat at auntie, we spend the time and we go by uncle. Because, you know, at least at that time, every home you go, they're offering you something to eat. So if it was a gallon like some people, if you barely the lang like some people, that was the approach. That is what I'm seeing happening with a lot of our politicians. Check it out for yourself and put a stop to it. Charandas was APNU, Charandas was AFC, Charandas was APNU or AFC in APNU. Charandas went to the PPP, Charandas is now with WIN. Why? Check Jenna Prasad, you're gonna find the same thing. Check Bishram, is that his name? A whole lot of them over what? When they've been with the PPP before. Some of them dabbled with the AFC. So what they're doing is just playing Chinese checkers, moving from political house to political house to political house, so as to maintain the benefits they get off of us, while we remain downtrodden because they're not offering us any real representation. "12 minutes past 8 o'clock home. I noticed the Guyana Teachers Union is speaking up. You know, sometimes I laugh in this country because a lot of things are usually right before our eyes, and we don't pay attention to them until they're too late. As old people say, you see them at day and then you wait till night to look for them with fire stick. Why is this man calling my phone? Don't do it. Don't do it. Good. Wait your time. Right? You're right before your idea time, but you wait till night to look for with fire stick. When I told y'all the other day, the rush to appoint the Teaching Service Commission ahead of the leader of the opposition being appointed would have dire consequences. People didn't believe me. When I said the Constitution is being disregarded and disrespected and it's going to get dire consequences for our public servants, mainly the teachers in this instance, people did not understand me, or they didn't believe me, or they didn't see what I was seeing. Because when you appoint a Teaching Service Commission without the input of the leader of the opposition or the opposition parties, then in short, you appoint a Teaching Service Commission that is strictly you. A Teaching Service Commission that will do your biddings without question. What people sometimes can't seem to understand, when these things are recognized and pointed out, I get a lot of costs, because at the time the presumed leader of the opposition would have been Azruddin Mohammed, and people believe that, you know, a particular man tell me a supporting win because of talking about these things. But I want you to pay attention to what the the teachers union is saying now, and what they're facing now, what our teachers are facing now. The recently appointed Teaching Service Commission went and they changed all of the rules for promotion for teachers to the senior positions. All the rules are changed. Previously, for every year that you served as a trained teacher, you got 1 point. So given the fact, and Carlton tag ERC again, given the fact that the majority trained teachers in this country are Afro-Guyanese, because Afro-Guyanese usually gravitate to the teaching profession, and a lot of them go to college and get trained. Black man like education, you know. They go and they get trained, and many of them have been in the system since I was a boy, and so they got many years as trained teacher. If you were to continue to give them that 1 point for every year that they've been trained, they're going to come out looking nice. Because the promotion, what we want to call it, rubric for promotion, gives points for certain things. It gives points for certification, it gives points for service experience and give points of varying things. So when they look at the current state of the education sector and promotion has to happen, and all the people who will get major points for the years that they've been trained, and no, this can't happen. If we do that, the promotion list is going to be dominated by Afro-Guyanese. Because it's only just the other day we started encouraging our people to either become trained teachers or to get a gold scholarship and get a gold certificate in something or the other. And so since we want to dominate, we want our people to dominate administration of the education sector, we are going to throw out this thing that say you get a point for every year you train. What we're going to do is that we're going to say for every 5 years that you train, you're going to get a point. So a teacher who was there for 15 years and was getting a point, would get 15 points? They say we're going every 5 years you're going to get points. So the teacher now is going to only get 3 points. That teacher would have 15 years experience. That must count for something. That teacher might have his or her trained teacher's certificate and maybe a bachelor's of education, if that is what they call it, from the University of Guyana. And that will get 1 or 2 points too. But if you got a master's in something or other, you will get more points. And so that is what they did. They manipulated the system. They've been quietly whispering to the people, go and do this, go and do that, go and do the other. Because when we're ready to manipulate the system, these are the things we're going to use to give you more points than those who have been toiling in the system since Noah was a boy. And so as they say, the chickens come home to roost now. The representatives of the educators are now woke, they now recognize those shoots. They have to wait for this whole thing come out, before they recognize those shoots. First, we really don't have any representative on the Teaching Service Commission to fight for us. Because the commission was allowed to be appointed without the input of the opposition. So we already got nobody there to fight for us. And since we got nobody here to fight for us, we can upturn the apple cart. The people could do as they like. And so here we are today, the Teaching Service, the Teachers Union, crying on behalf of the teachers that the system was changed without consultation at the detriment of a whole lot of people who've been serving the system since Noah was a boy. Sometimes I cuss leadership. Sometimes I cuss leadership. Because leadership is not just being there, collecting perks, giving directions. Leadership calls for foresight. Leadership calls for reading between the lines, above the lines, and behind the lines. When in leadership, you must always be a conspiracy theorist, especially you know who you're dealing with. Why do you want to do this? They got some ulterior motive. Let me dig deep and find out what it is. But here again, the horse is bolted and we're trying to close stable doors. Because the Teaching Service Commission was allowed to stand as appointed by the presidents without consultation with the opposition. And the teachers are now bawling because they recognize the discrimination will happen seriously. And all of them with years of service, a whole lot of service. will find that people with less experience, and in many instances, just a paper certificate, will be sitting on top of the world and governing them. It's 21 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. You can call. The lines are now open. Ipare G, in recognition of African History Month, has its public lectures. This Sunday, the 22nd of February, it is Dwayne Benjamin, and he will be speaking on a history of the Guyanese working people, the book by Walter Rodney. Discussion time is from 7 p.m., 7 in the evening, 19 hours. You can join by Zoom, 850-0413-3596 being the meeting ID, and 917-572 the passport. Join the discourse. Let's go to Morolis and wait for your calls.
Don't play it no more. Don't play it no more. Don't play it no more. No, 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 no. That song for me. It brings back memories of days that I once knew. The days that I spent with.
Yeah, good morning, good again to all the viewing public. You know, we talk in the intro, you spoke about these young people who are now on TikTok. I would like them not only to be on TikTok. At the next election, I want them to come out and vote resoundingly. I'm quite certain that they are now seeing many of them who went along the way, they are now seeing the fruits of their labor. And I want them, as they look towards the future, they must ask themselves if those who voted and how they voted, if they think that they did the right thing voting, how they voted. Now, when it comes to the teachers, you know, we got to remember 2020, I like history, when a lot of them, because let me tell you, they train at a poll station, the person who got the highest ratings are the POs. And it's not something what I am talking about. I was there. When you do the training, the trainers would say, this is teamwork. And remember on that day, the person, you could be a judge and you give a poll clerk work, and a cleaner could be given that the job of the PO. You got to listen to your PO. And they had the merit in the 2020 elections where we had about 49, we had 49 boxes that was being dealt wrongly. Now with that laid a foundation for what has happened from 2020 on to present day. I hope the teachers who assisted in the demolishment of APNU, they can now say that they have done good because it is affecting all sectors of workers, but it is affecting them mostly. Now with this new thing with the commission, that means that the parents and the guardians got to saddle up the back because we got to work more hard with our children to see them come to the top. Lastly, I would like to know if we could hear anything about the Mr. Kemraj Ramjatan, because with all they forced out President Granger out of office, you still hear they talking about President Granger. President Lyndon Forbes Thompson Barnum, who died since 1985. His name is being called more than anybody else in the political realm. And Kemraj Ramjitan was there in 2020. And right now, we don't hear anything about Kemraj Ramjitan. And when you talk about indigenizing the from the top of the South American continent with Suriname, Guyana, and Trinidad. That is what they wanted. They wanted to have a full indigenized area within the Western Hemisphere. And let me tell you, being indigenized, I don't think it isn't good because when you look at most Indians, they look to, they ain't got a love. The most loving people on the face of the earth are the Africans. Not because I'm an African, but we could see it. Because when God created the earth, he created one being, and the person that he created gave to all the different races. So once you are a parent with God love for all the children. Don't mind them might show one more love, they might got tolerance with one. But in all that parents tries to do, in most cases, is to get all the children together. And you would see a person who will make them children don't got love for them. So hence the other ethnic races around the world will not show as much love to people other than the African people. When we go through history, we see the love that is being exerted by an African person. They put themselves at the back and they put others in front. And it is just so with the political realm. When you had leaders like Lyndon Forbes, Samson Burnham, you had Desmond Hoyt, and you had President Granger, they extended the love all around. But you look with all that will talk about Jagan as leader did this. Look what Jagan did when he was leader. He destroyed. He looked for blood. When these leaders, Burnham and Granger came in, the bloodshed stopped. But when the Indian people, the Kuli people, because you got Indian and you got Kuli, they look to have blood on the streets of Guyana, all over, in whatever area they could have blood. It was blood all over. It was blood and mud in Guyana in the days of Burnham and in the days of the PPP onto the thing. And look, to come back and it started. But you know what's saving us in this hour of the PPP? Everybody phone, everybody palm top is a lethal weapon in the world of technology because everything's smart. And if you ain't got internet, you know, for thief and catch hot spot, so you could be emitting messages as it happened. This is what has curtailed the PPP in this time because they don't know where they got the phone watching at them. And the big Pegasus and the Huawei phones, internet, there is a mashing up the PPP. So that is my comment. Bye-bye.
With you. Oh no, don't let it play. It fills my heart with pain. Please stop it right away. I remember just a word it said. It said, darling, I love you. You know that you lied. Darling, I love you. You know that you lied. Darling, I love you. You know that you lied. You lied. You lied.
I do not know why Guyanese continue to sit down and accept the abuse that you see the PPP is doing to the people of Guyana. Why Guyanese continue to sit down Why they continue to sit down? It's time to come together and go on the streets and protest. Look the amount of money that the country is getting. Look the resources. And Guyanese just sitting and complaining. Some of them get yard. Plant your kitchen garden. Plant your kitchen garden. Why Guyanese continue to sit down? I don't know. I don't know when Guyanese going to wake up. I don't know when they're going to wake up. Look the cost of living in the country. Everything sky high, high, high. And you get ministers building big mansion in Guyana, outer Guyana, opening big, big business. And Guyanese sit down and complaining. No, man. It's time Guyanese get up. It's time you people get up. Y'all got to get up. Y'all have to get up. Stop complaining. It's not going to help. And don't wait for somebody to come to rescue y'all. Nobody coming to rescue y'all. Y'all have to fight. Y'all have to fight for what belongs to y'all. Enough is enough. Ali wake up. People, Ali wake up. The situation not getting better, it's getting worse. Look what the ministers are doing. Family, friends, and favorite. Guyana, Guyanese people, Ali wake up. That is my take for today.
You kissed me and you walked away. You were only 17. I never thought you'd act so mean, but baby, you told me you loved me. You told me you cared. You said I'll go with you, darling, almost anywhere. But darling, you know that. Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Darling, I love you. You know that you lie. Darling, I love you.
Yes, good morning, Kadaki, and good morning to all our viewing listeners. I just want to say a couple of things, This Bharat Jagdev thing, I hear Mr. Jordan yesterday was saying that Bharat Jagdev was absent from Parliament for at least for more than 6 sittings, which requires some kind of reason you have to give as Bharat Jagdev before you could go back in Parliament, or you could be ruled out. But we know that the reason, even if you ain't give a reason, that the reason then go already have it there. You know, even if you ain't give a reason, the the what you call him, the speaker, he gonna say yes, he give a reason, you know. So that I mean, we could show all these things by, but these things ain't really working. The next thing, we know that the Indian people they get in their cash grant, secretly, money going as different under different things. Fisher folks and some una fishermen still get in, and then the sugar people get in and all them, but they getting their money. Black people ain't getting nothing. You understand? But one last thing I want to talk about, which is for me the most important thing, is they this is the second decade of reparation, right? Um, it has been designated that this 10 years, I think 5 years must have finished already out of this last 10-year reparation where we're supposed to be recognized. They're supposed to recognize African struggles and try to get something done for us, get reparation. You see, the PPP is a set of teeth. And I think, Rhonda touched on it a couple of days ago, but I had this in mind to say too. I mean, we on the same line. The PPP, they're pulling in a lot of black people in the government and thing and so on. Although they are rubber stamps, they're pulling them in, right? To show like, oh, we get black people on our side, we in racial and we in this and that. But you see the people they ain't checking the policy. So a policy got to show the policies of this PPP government because we don't want our reparation money for land in the hand of the PPP government. That's why they cheat for come for another 5 years. God, I believe by the end of the 5 years, this reparation money gonna pay. That is me seeing my own thing. That is how I see it, right? So they feel that by this next the end of this decade, the money gonna pay, and they gonna be in government. So the money gonna gotta pay to the government and the government. Well, the government ain't even giving black people reparation already. So me and think that we gonna allow that money whenever it come pay to this government today, this PPP government, for distribute to the people. If that happen, man, Karaki, I don't want to say nothing more. We should never make that happen, whether we are in government or not. The money shouldn't land in the hand of PPP. The PPP hand is like their fingers, you know where the start was sticky fingers? They have sticky fingers. They are thieves. And when they hear about money, they will do anything for it. They would hug you up and kiss you up. Oh, I love you, man. We are brothers and this and that. And that. Let them get the money and just kick you aside. We should not allow these people to put their hands on our reparation money. That should get a big kickback, a big, look, I don't want to use them words there. Yeah. Anyway, Kadaki, I'll have a good time. Have a good time, my brother. We are together. Bye. Bye.
Morning, Brother Kidaki, morning, viewers. Morning, all right thinking Guyanese. Show the length and breadth of this country. Big up yourself, Flash Garden, at all times. Flash Garden, you're a genuine man to this program. You're a dedicated man to this program. I like how we dedicate yourself to this program. Flash Garden, do not go nowhere. Do not leave and go nowhere. Don't care who talk and don't care what they say. Flash Garden, you're on the right track. Understand me? Brother Kidaki, that caller was called last on Tuesday. Kudos to that caller. Sir, I hope that for the very first time you call, and you call back Wednesday morning, but I didn't have time was to be on the program. Kudos to you once again, and I hope that you continue sharing your views. Your view is very, very, very incredible, very intelligent. You understand me? Big up yourself. Pertaining to the American ambassador, you see these people? You see these people? They're only focusing on Mohammed. What happened to this installed government that trampling every single second and minute of this day in this country? All those people that they sanction. What happened to those people? They're still working in them same ministries. All the policemen that get sanctioned, they're still working, and nothing these criminals of America doing, nothing them doing. You see, the revelation that coming out now with Marco Rubio, it's alleged that the man was a big time drugs man, a big time criminal. So what he will do to Guyana? What he will do to Guyanese? He won't do nothing. He and them is in bed with it, doing the same thing to people. Come on, bro. Same monkey, same face. America will do nothing to curb our situation in this country. Because they know that it's black people, these people trampling on, and they don't have no time with black people. White people don't like black people. Just like what the coolie people are doing right now in this country. Not the Indians, them, the coolie people, them. So Guyanese black people, we gotta wake up. We gotta wake up. You hear what the woman say? You listen to that woman, what the woman say concerning Mohammed. Come on, guys, let me wake up. Let me wake up. Mohammed do nothing to Guyanese. Mohammed do nothing to Guyanese people. It's these people allow Mohammed to do everything that Mohammed do. The same installed PPP government. Them is the people America supposed to put them up on. Them is the people, because he was in bed with them. He put them in power. He helped put them in power. What happened to these people? What happened to these people, you see? As I tell y'all, these people look to put the most weakest government in power, that they could have a thief and rig everything out of your country. That is what these people done to Africa. That's why they can't do it again. Big up to Abraham Traore. Big up to the rest of the leaders, them that's standing up for this Caucasian. That's all what they want from our countries, our wealth. And they may concerned with our people. They don't care how people suffering because it's black people. That is what these people continue to do with us. Black man, we don't have a place. And for we to have a place in this world, this country, we gotta stand up. We gotta stand up and tell these people know that enough is enough. Enough is enough. I tired and sick When the day comes, we see what happened to black people, and black people can wake up and smell the coffee. These people do all kinds of things without they using us to bring down our own, and we people can get ourselves together. They're using us to bring down our own people, our own race. Come on, buddy. No other race don't do it to their people, and like, oh, we won't do it to our people. Come on, guys, people, wake up. Let us wake up. Let us wake up, Guyana. Guyana is one of the most beautiful countries they have on the face, but you got the ranks of the people running this country. Two criminals that have the opposition and the installed PPP government. Guys, people wake up. Black people wake up. And your viewers, y'all have a blessed day. Happy weekend. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, Honorable Dr. David Hines and the 12 disciples. See you all this afternoon at the park. Y'all have a blessed day.
Good morning, Kadaki. Now these guys are talking about, they want to believe that money has been paid, or the PPP is paying people behind the door cash grant. If you have any proof to that, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? You guys sit down and talk too much in Guyana. Had it been a black government treating the Indian like this, you would have seen fire and brimstone in the street. I had experience with these people. You understand me? But you guys, as Rhonda says, we are loving. You are too loving again. You leave things to God. God is in control. While they're cramping you all, mashing you all guys down. You understand me? Look what is going on in Guyana. Look at the amount of money that is flowing. Yeah? The money is just circulating in one direction in Guyana. And just talk, blah, 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 blah. Every day, just talk. Why you that guy don't come together and plan some kind of some big protest? You understand? Shut down the country, man. Or go slow. Go slow is worse than striking, because you're going to work and you're getting pay, and nothing is being done. Even the nurses drag the feet. Do not work. You understand me? Shut down the airport. Drivers go from Rodikna to Georgetown and park the car right through. Walk away with your keys. You understand? Something has to be done. The masses, no masses supposed to be afraid of the government. The government's supposed to be afraid of what the masses can do to bring them down. And you guys just sit on talking every blast. You're not ashamed talking every morning. Yeah? India would not have done this. They would have not take this from you guys. Bye.
You know that you lie, you lie, you lie, 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 lie. Don't play it no more. Don't play it no more. Stop it, baby. No, 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 no. Don't play it no more. Baby, please. Don't play it, baby. Don't play it no more. No, 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 no. Stop it, baby. You know that you
As I said, we are consumers. We don't produce anything. And I think the solution for this whole thing is do like our Rosa Park do. Support we own. Stop buying from the coolie people because when you stop buying from them, they're gonna come to their senses because as we are supporting them when you go to the market, black people buying from them, you get black people that is farming, that is selling the same thing that they're selling. So I think it's wise we shop from them. Withhold we money from them and they're gonna come to their senses and let the government say, hey, it's wrong we're doing to the black people, pull up your socks. But if we continue supporting them and full in their pocket, they don't give a part. What about we? So we need to support we own. Plant we backyard, according to the former president, Forbes Borno said, produce or perish. So maybe we want lawn, we want fancy flower, we can't eat flowers. You have a backyard, put on two oak tree, put on two boro, two callaloo or something. At the end of the day, you're gonna get something harvest. And at the same time, you're gonna be saving your little money. So this is the only solution. We gotta unite and support we own. Yes, you might think of the big companies with this and that. That will gonna be a different story. But for now, support we own. If we got for shop overseas, let me shop overseas. That's it.
Sisters in Guyana, first and first, happy Friday. Happy holiday to all of you guys. You guys have a wonderful holiday. Enjoy it. It's our holiday. We must continue to give that respect on our holiday, yes. And be wise. Spend wisely this weekend. Because you never know what's going to happen after the holiday finish. Trust God is responsible for what he say, not how the government and their supporters interpret it. I like what the last caller said. We talking and talking and talking. We teaching and teaching. He said, what tickled me, what opened my brains, he said, if it was the other way around, if it was a black leader was leading, and behaving in this way towards the calling people them, it would be fire and smoke. And that's what we always remember, my black brother and sister, in 2020. Them calling government better up and put fire and smoke up in the air for hours. And our commissioner did nothing. Our free minister did nothing. They allow it because both of them are PPP members. Up in Morbies, the same thing they did. Fire and smoke, beat police, one police with cutlass. I see a tall, holy man come up with a gun in the hand, wait to kill black man. Commission did nothing. Ramatan did nothing. If it was the other way around, my black brother and sister, when I always said it is time for black people to come together, go outside there and put fire and smoke up in the air. Nobody don't want to believe Flash Garden. A first get education. He's not a minister. But the minister them had a chance 2015 and you fail us. I will talk about that Monday or Tuesday, which one. What I wanted to say, I'm calling upon all them men and women in the army, men and women in the police force. Let me remind you guys what Anil said, the Attorney General who in charge of law and order for the country Guyana. In Parliament, what are you black man want from the budget? Are you never vote for Abid Koli? Are you never vote for PPP? How can police and army sit back and listen to those words? If you want, are you black baby for drink milk? I have a vote for Abid and take the mark of the beast. How can the army? How can it, for the past 5 years, we call upon army, you have the power. You have all why the Constitution give that power to protect the citizens, protect the country, protect your border, protect the abuse of the citizens in that country. Look what the man doing. He disrespect who was next in charge and brought the man out of retire and put him there. To continue to abuse our children. It's not because I could provide milk for you. Look at the small man can provide milk for his baby every day. We talking too much. I keep telling you guys. Look, Suriname, put fire and smoke up in the air. One last big protest, and the president is out of office. One little country keep reminding you. And one little Caribbean country, smaller than Guyana, protest to cast a living and put fire and smoke up in the air. And the news said they come to the table, the government. But I said you have to come more better because you know you could come more better. You got to give us more. Because we know what's coming in the country, because we working. It is time for we black people remember the words. There come a time when we must come together, when we must come together as one, regardless of if you don't like Frat's Garden or you don't love him, you don't appreciate it. We got to come together for our children's sake. They are dying. They are hungry many days. I see it. It is time for we encourage our people night and day, and I do hope that them police and soldiers going to listen, who listen to Frat's Garden. And you have the right to walk out your work. I have the right to shut the country down. That is more than abuse, than killing, than abuse, and then playing. And you have to vote for us before you pick you drink milk. Black man, soldiers, are you taking that nonsense abuse? I'm telling you, playing, are you got to be, must be outside? Are you taking all of that? Don't wait on Frat's Garden to come to Guyana for start nothing. Are you doing it? Are you getting power? 28 years we sit down waiting for what Flash? For jobs and justice. And nothing up to now. I'm looking on to the 12 disciples. I will give you this break for go around as you all said. But carry the thing to people, make it all as possible. Because you must go in front of the same building and protest that time. What good for the goose is good for the garden, because if the government allow Mohammed to go in front, the speaker of the house for demand swearing, we must demand milk for our children, because they're saying hold that position that our children cannot get milk for drink. Thank you guys for listening to Frat's Garden. Have a wonderful weekend. To all of you guys, God bless you all. God is with us. He said, his people receive not because they ask not. They keep asking for wrong things. They keep asking for money. But Peter make it known, silver and gold have I none, but trust in the word of the Lord. Rise up and walk, trust in the name of the Lord. Rise up and walk. And give him that strength. That is what we're supposed to ask God for, strength. For get me out of poverty and slavery from Guyana. We need that. We need to ask God that come together. And stop sitting down and wait for Marvin and win for come around for what? When Chawadas here, Chawadas is teaching him now. If you have to go to America, don't leave no black person in charge of Win Party. You build a party, leave one Cody person, because the black person going to do exactly what I did for my country for them. And you said the right word. That Chawadas celebrating, they're supposed to represent you because you was there for them. I like that part, what you said. Have a good weekend and be careful, guys. Keep your children indoors. Be careful. God.
You know that you love.
Leon, good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Brother Kadaki. This is Israel Garden again, calling in on the program.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, good morning, Brother Kadaki. Good morning to the viewing audience. Good morning to Brother Lane and the others who have made a contribution this morning. But I wanna say something, Brother Kadaki, is that the question needs to be asked: where are our strong African leaders in Guyana? Now, let me make a comparison, right? When the APNU took government in 2015, Gaisuko had $0 with an $85 billion debt. President Granger, within I think less than a week of assuming office, he had to borrow $400 million from the Jamaican bank to pay sugar workers. Now, what happened? Estates had to close because we recognized they were non-performing estates. They were not contributing to the economy. They were draining the treasury. Then what happened there now? When the estates closed, people were given the redundant money, whatever. Charandas walked the sugar belt. And the people cry out, oh, Charan, me hungry. Look at me children, they're hungry. Ow, ow. And the whole cry went down, and we know what transpired after then with the no confidence motion. Right? And I said to people that Charan Das didn't make that move in the interest of the nation. He moved in the interest of the Indian man who was feeling the pressure due to the closure of the estates. Now, let me look at this now moving forward with the Mocha situation. We have seen there where houses have been bulldozed, animal probably being buried, and a whole host of stuff. And we saw Mark Phillips and the other Afro-Guyanese and the PPP stood there quietly and said nothing. So the question I asked the other day, I said, do you feel Kemra Dramjatan or Moses Nagamutu would have sat under the leadership of David Granger to see the destruction of Indo-Guyanese properties in this country? It would have never happened. The coalition would have it would have been broken up immediately. So when we sit and we look at certain things in this country, we're asking ourselves, we have our pro-Guyanese, but what are their role in leadership? Or you just there as a window dressing and a facade? Because when you look at it with all of the injustices that are being meted out to the African man in this country, Mark Phillips there, the political neophyte, choose to remain reticent on these matters. So when we look at certain things, Brother Kadaki, we have to go back to our foundation. We have to go back to our root, and we need to have some major structural changes at the African family level and how we go about doing things to position ourselves for economic dominance and prominence as a people. Because let me tell you something. When we look there with our ancestors, they weren't as intelligent as us in terms of having degrees and diplomas and certificates, but they understand collective work and responsibility. Collective work and responsibility. So when you look at it, Brother Kadaki, these people put their resources together, acquire land so that they can be able to produce food for themselves and do things to themselves. Today, look around at us Africans. Are we working together? Are we coming together and pooling our resources together like the Jews and the Indians and the whites and the Asians? We're not doing that. We're competing with one another for the crumbs from the crumbs. So my thing on it is that we will sit here for another 20, 30 years and talk about the plight of the African man. But the last time I checked, the only man that can liberate the African man is the African man. We have to liberate ourselves. And how can we do it? It have to be done through education and empowerment. We got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work. Nobody is coming to rescue us from our demise. We have to come up with strategy. If we realize that we're not being respected as a people, but we keep spending our money, there must be a time where we have to trap our money and start trading among ourselves and support ourselves. And then people can understand by that we cannot exclude the Afro-Guyanese man now from the national conversation. Brother Kadaki, you know, it pains me to see the plight of the African man. And I would say this morning, there is a strategy afoot to relegate the African man in this country to a state of nothingness. And that can only be accomplished if we sit down and we grumble and we crack and we cry and we don't get up off our laurels and reposition ourselves for the road ahead. My brother, have a wonderful morning and a wonderful weekend. I am up and out.
I'm sorry. So I was saying thank you for tuning in. It's 8 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. And you're reminded to go and join the street parliament from 5 o'clock this afternoon at Starbucks Square. Likewise, on Sunday, the Ipadi is inviting you to join its Sunday lecture series, 7 in the evening. And this Sunday, we have Dwayne Benjamin discussing a history of the Guyanese working people by Walter Rodney. So please join. The Zoom meeting ID is 850-0413-3596. And the passcode is 917572. Thank you for tuning in. Do have a pleasant rest of the day. You share the live. And I'll see you maybe on Monday. Monday is Republic Day. I gotta behave like your presidents. If you all behave yourselves, I'm gonna come on Monday. Remember to drop something in the Cash App, in the Zelle, in the MMG, so that you can help us to help you. You can help us to keep the program on air. Y'all have a good one. Much love.